This week on Ellie's Garage, Ellie and Mr. Ed finish painting the remaining body panels, Ellie and the guys have some good car talk, and Ellie and I finish off the paint job with something pretty special. Hi guys, welcome back to Ellie's Garage, where Ellie and I are restoring a 1965 Ford Falcon to be her daily driver. But we've never done this before. As you can tell, Ellie isn't here this week to host, but I'm stepping out from behind the camera to give you guys a few insights from my perspective. If you're new to the channel, we just finished prepping and painting the body of Ellie's 1965 Ford Falcon in her dream color of Neptune green. And this week, it's time to paint the rest of the body panels. So Ellie and her Obi-Wan Kenobi of painting, Mr. Ed, started on the undersides of the hood and deck lid. With the underside of the deck lid and hood painted, it was time for Ellie and I to do something we had dreamed about for 2 years. In case you're new to the channel, Ellie named her Falcon Carl after her favorite character in one of our favorite Pixar movies, Up. In that movie, Carl and Ellie put their handprints and names on their mailbox. And since the earliest days of this project and us driving her Falcon 750 miles home, we dreamed of one day painting the car and putting our handprints and names somewhere on it when we were done. Well, once the deck lid paint had dried enough, we did just that. It took a couple of times to get enough paint on the handprints, but when we were done, it was better than we could have imagined.
Those are there forever now. We would have to repaint the car, sand it down for those to be gone.
The next day, we were back at it, painting the tops of the deck lid and hood, as well as the fenders, rock guard, and the hinges. Ellie also got help from one of Mr. Ed's painting mentors, Bruce. Bruce lives nearby and volunteered his time to help Ellie prep all of her panels. Ellie really wanted to do a good job, so she took extra time to get more tips from Ed and practice how she'd move when she sprayed the paint. It was really great to watch Ellie and Ed work together to paint the panels. And as a dad, it was really great to watch Ellie learn something new and then get better every time she tried it. In between coats, Ed was giving great tips and encouragement as well.
I'm getting better. Yeah.
With the base color sprayed, Ellie, Ed, and Bruce took a minute to talk shop and share their love of classic cars.
What brought you into an old car?
I think it was the fact that I had seen so many modern cars, and I don't like conventional. I always like, not to stand out per se, but to be a little different, to do things just a little differently and have my own flair with it. Mm-hmm. I've always been interested in building things, so the fact of getting to like build an old car was especially interesting to me rather than just having one. Getting to learn all the things that I have learned and getting to be in this community, which I didn't know was a thing that I really wanted, but is an amazing community that I'm very grateful to be in.
And everybody that does this is proud of what they do. Everybody's got a unique skill and everybody can help one another. And the pride that you have to take and do what you've done from start to the finish, you see what's involved in it. It's not an easy task, but the pride involved in it once you're done is you can't give it away. You have that feeling and that pride that nobody can understand it except you for your project, and everybody else, their project's gonna have that pride too.
Like Ed said, these are just cars. Mm-hmm. If they get wrecked, if they sit, if they get sold, like they are just cars, but it's the memories and the time and energy you spent and put into it that really matters.
And you said it too, the memories. Those memories you will always have all your life.
I'm really lucky.
Yes, you are. And you're lucky too there, Matt.
I'm not crying, you're crying. And after that, Ellie and Ed went back into the booth to spray 3 coats of clear to finish the panels off. Well, with those panels complete, there was only one more thing to do, and actually it was 4 more things to do. Ellie and I still had to paint the interior of the doors before we could take them over to Ed's to get them painted. So to show that whole process, it's time for a door montage. So that's it. Carl is officially painted, and next week we'll be reassembling, and you guys will get to see Carl back together in his new color. But for me, the best part of this entire process was getting those handprints on the deck lid. And this week, what I'm hoping Ellie takes out of the garage is that no matter where she goes, she'll always have a little piece of me to take with her. If you guys haven't seen it, go back to the beginning where Ellie and I first started, and we drove Carl 750 miles all the way home. Special thanks as always to Ellie's executive producers, Drew Carter and Kevin and Julia. Thanks for watching, consider subscribing, and Ellie will see you next time in the garage.